Rondale Moore is the expert consensus wide receiver 31. I have bumped him down to the wide receiver 37. And looking at last season, when DeAndre Hopkins was there in the first half of the season, like looking through weeks 1 through 8, okay, wide receiver 52, wide receiver 6, 102, 69, 27, 68, 67, 82, wide receiver 48, week 9. So Rondale Moore, I am concerned about getting into that top like 30 or so wide receiver. Even last week in full PPR, he was wide receiver 34, and that was, without DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, it was with Marquise Brown, but you're also going to have, I think, Robbie Anderson playing some limited snaps. AJ Green isn't going away entirely. And week 4, when Rondale Moore came back and played 90% of the snaps, right, he still finished as the wide receiver 78. So I want to be more pessimistic with this shift in personnel and it being half PPR, at least how my rankings are set up. So I would move him from wide receiver 31 to 37. I want to be lower on Rondale Moore. The usage is concerning there. So at least my projected usage for him. His targets have been great the last 2 games, 8 and 10 targets. But I think that goes down with the return of DeAndre Hopkins, who is more of a target earner and likes to play in the slot. Like, yes, DeAndre Hopkins does play out wide sometimes, but Rondale Moore, is pretty exclusively a slot player. And I think that Hopkins, who likes to move around, play in the slot a significant amount, will take away some of those Rondale Moore routes and receptions and targets. Also, there's not a lot of optimism about Rondale Moore getting a ceiling play. He's had a red zone target in each of the last 3 games that he's played, but hasn't exceeded 58 air yards, and air yards is a key to upside. Like, if the quarterback is not throwing the ball down the field to you, that's a problem. Also, when Kyler Murray has tried to throw the ball down the field, he's been arguably the worst downfield thrower. He's 20th out of 22 qualified quarterbacks in deep passing grade per PFF. He is 22nd out of 22, so the last rated out of the 22 qualified quarterbacks in completion percentage downfield, and he has the worst NFL passer rating on deep passes per PFF. So, yes, I am concerned that even if Rondale Moore is getting targets, they're not going to be deep targets. And even if they are deep targets, they're not going to be very accurate. They're not going to be very good. So I am pessimistic about Rondale Moore returning like top 31 wide receiver status.